Before anything else, I'm happy to announce that we have reached 121 subscribers as of today. So I'm giving a quick shout out to our fellow knights who just recently subscribed. Thank you Vasco, King Eric Roll, and Leralix98. If you're already subscribed, don't worry, just leave a comment below and I'll greet you on our next video.
Triple T Gaming.
Today, let's discuss everything about the Kingdom Fortresses, or simply forts. A fortress is a high-level castle scattered around the Galcian continent that can be occupied by a maximum of 4 players. Meaning 4 different players can help each other, or most of the time, one can carry while the other 3 leeches. Each kingdom may have 1 to 2 fortresses, consisting of 3 towers with lots of mercenaries guarding it. They can consist of mixed classes suitable for each region. For example, forts in Cyniest will have royal cavalries, the one in Fortresil will be protected by druids, while those in Perianor will have to face claymore warriors, and so on. How to participate in a fortress attack? Fortresses will be available for occupation every day, and the number of different forts you may attack will depend on your castle's level. Remember, you may only conquer a specific fortress once per day, and you cannot change after registration, so you need to upgrade your own castle if you want to increase your limit. Level 6 and below will allow you to register for 1 fortress a day. Level 7 for 2 different fortresses. Increasing it to level 15 will grant you 3 chances. And finally, if your castle is maxed out on level 18, you will be able to register for 4 different fortresses every day. Take note that Android players and iOS players will not have the same fortress instance, so always check with your friends which platform they are playing. How can I initiate a fortress attack? Every fortress registration will require some materials to be spent, usually sandstones, wood, and raw iron. There are 3 different ways to register. First, you can create your own room and get a password that you can share with your friends. Second will be joining an existing room using a password created by the initiator.
Eight together, strong.
And lastly, there's a third option for random team, which you will be paired with other players who are currently attacking the same fort. If none is attacking that fortress, then you will be the lead. Remember that for random option, there is no password and anyone can join. How to defeat a fortress? Each map will always consist of 1 main tower or capture point, 2 side towers, and a bunch of mercenaries guarding it. There are some archer towers and even buffs and debuff altars to make your way even more challenging. Defeating a fortress means destroying the main tower or the capture point that is usually located farthest from the starting point. You will have 9 chances to attack and it won't consume any month, but it can result to injuries when your team is defeated. Destroying any of the side towers will make your next attack start at the middle or closer to the main capture point. This is pretty useful when sharing a fort with other players or you have a weak team composition and you want to stagger your progress. You can all skip the side towers and ignore the guards, but that will be more challenging, so clearing up everything is your best bet, plus it tends to give you a lot of experience at the end. There are carries that can clear the map in 1 turn, but it's only advisable if all other participants are full leechers because they will only receive half of the resources if they won't be able to attack or damage the towers. How to get all reward resources and the maximum experience. Experience points will only be given to the player who destroys the main capture point. It is based on the number of enemies killed, so some players prefer not to destroy side towers as this will reduce the number of guarding enemies by half. If you want to get the full loots, you will need to at least: first, destroy one of the side towers completely by yourself. Second, do a 10% total damage equivalent to the main capture point's HP. And lastly, you can do a combination of damages for each side towers in the main tower that is equivalent to the 10% of the capture point's total HP. To show an example, here is how it works. You will get full loots if you did any of the 3 options above, but you will only get half of the loots if you just participated and didn't do any attack. If you fall short of the 10% or didn't destroy a side tower, you can also gain half of the loots even if you're the lead or the initiator of the attack. So make sure that you coordinate this when sharing with your friends or other players. How many fortresses are there at the moment? As of this date, there are 9 total fortresses. The Dawn and Monarch in Cyniest, Sunlight in Helest, Scabbard and Turquoise in Perianor, Giant Shark in Vivetia, Eagle in Vastia, Ring Valley in Fordrasil, and Sea Death in Northern Island. There are others that are still locked and soon to be available in future updates, like the Frostwave in Helest, as well as the Holy Blessing, Silver Pine, Imperial, that are all in the Massane Empire territory. Most people will rank these from Monarch, Sea Death, Scabbard, Ring Valley, Eagle, Giant Shark, Sunlight, Dawn, and then the Floating Turquoise. Because for this special map, every time you hit the main tower, more enemies will respawn around you, massacring your units. Tips and tricks. You can register for a fortress even without going to the kingdom it belongs to, but you cannot attack it unless you are within the same region. This means you can register anywhere in the Galcian map by clicking the fortress to start or join a random attack.
Nice.
Which classes to bring? It could be a mix of support, nukers, and a tower destroyer. I would always bring bards and bishops for buffs, a will to slaughter unit, usually a raid or armored cavalry, depending on the enemies, and always a blade master or claymore warrior for multiple strikes to the tower. Remember that spears and bows will have reduced damage against objects, so sharp weapons will be your best bet, like a two-handed sword. Which skills are mandatory? Will to slaughter carry with the bloodthirst or energy replenish skills will always be needed, because there's a lot of enemies around the map that you need to clear out before arriving at the capture point. Equipping your carry with the accessory research note that grants +1 max energy, and using a weapon with leech skill that regenerates energy like a short bow are preferred. Some of the maps are huge and well bordered, so you better be ready if you will need a ranged weapon. Armored cavalries are useful against heavy enemies in Shark, Dawn, and Eagle, but you can also bring an Arc Druid with the Will to Slaughter skill, as long as you will not run out of energy and you can one-shot the enemies. Again, this is all about your current meta, whichever works for your team. Bards should have the Eagle Ode to ensure you can do twice action in your later turns. Also, an Oivik loot is preferred, so your infantry units can walk an extra tile. Bringing another bard with an attack buff loot and ambush command skill from the command knight will also benefit everyone on your map, because it can increase the attack of everybody for 5 times. Bishop's motivation skill is very useful as well, especially if you want 3 extra energy at the start of your Will to Slaughter unit all the time. Proper placement of your units at the starting point plays an advantage for your conquest. How to leech like a boss. When you're just starting with very weak units, it's okay to leech for these forts as there's no restriction on which level you can join. Starting an attack, then asking people in Facebook to carry you is not advisable. There's only a limited hour to finish this, and you don't know if people would want to join you or have the same target resource like you. Go visit the Discord channel inside Co-op Android or Co-op Forts. There's a lot of kind-hearted carries in there that are willing to share their fort runs. Just be patient and ask nicely. Well, that's all for now, and I hope that you have learned something out of this video. If I missed anything or you know any other tips and tricks, please share it below on the comment section and help the community grow by sharing and caring. I will post a follow-up video with a complete map and gameplay for low to mid players without overpowered artifacts for each fortresses. So stay tuned and see you online.
Triple T Gaming.
Triple T Gaming.